I gave him my body, and we even recorded it on video, but no one will ever have access to it, my wife whispered. Those were the words that cracked my world in half. Not a scream, not a slap, a whisper. It was late, around 2:15 a.m. I had just returned from a delayed business trip to Boston. Canceled flights, turbulence, and a 2-hour Uber ride later. All I wanted was a hot shower and the warmth of my own bed. I didn't text her I was coming. I figured I'd surprise her. I just didn't know how surprised I'd be. When I stepped through the door, the lights were off. Silence, except for the hum of the fridge and a low murmur coming from the living room. I walked down the hallway slowly, trying not to make a sound. That's when I heard the whisper. My wife, Amber, sitting on the couch with her younger sister, Chloe, giggling like teenagers. I stopped. He has such a huge Johnson, she said, giggling behind her wine glass. I gave him my body, and we even recorded it on video, but no one will ever have access to it. Chloe gasped. Amber, aren't you afraid your husband will find the video? No, she smirked. It's for personal use. He promised no one would see it. I didn't move. My heart had dropped so hard into my gut, I thought it might shatter my ribs on the way down. I felt cold, like standing outside in a snowstorm with nothing but betrayal to keep me warm. She wasn't talking about me. I slowly stepped back, phone in hand, recording everything. 1,000 thoughts crashed into each other in my head. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't rush in and confront her. I just stood there, frozen. But in my mind, something darker began to form. Something far more satisfying than just catching her. I wasn't going to let this just sit. No, I was going to give her a memory that would burn through her for the rest of her pathetic life. I walked out the front door as silently as I came in. Back in my car, I listened to the recording again and again. Her laugh echoed in my ears like a gunshot. That smug, arrogant giggle, like nothing could ever touch her. Like she was untouchable. That was about to change. I opened our cloud account. The one she thought I never checked. The one where her phone automatically synced all her media files. There it was. A video titled, Workout Session, Private. I tapped it. It was them. Amber and some tanned, gym-built freak with a man bun. It wasn't just a one-time thing. You could see it in the way she moved, how familiar it all felt. Like she'd done this dozens of times. He kept calling her baby girl. She called him daddy. I didn't watch all of it. I didn't need to. I downloaded it, created a new email, sent it to every single one of her coworkers. With the subject line, "This is who Amber really is." No message, no threats, just the video. I sat there, heart racing, hands shaking. I stared at the send button for a long time. Then I clicked it. Boom. Send. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't need to. I was running on the kind of energy only pure betrayal can give you. I waited, eyes wide open, for the world to explode. At 7:06 a.m., the fireworks began. Amber's scream shot through the house like a bomb. I was back in bed, faking sleep. She burst into the room like a demon, her phone in her hand, eyes wide, mascara running already even though she hadn't put any on yet. Jason, what the hell is this? I slowly sat up, pretending to be groggy. What's wrong, sweetheart? Don't you dare play innocent with me, she shrieked, throwing the phone at the bed. The screen was filled with hundreds of messages. You're disgusting. How could you do that? Enjoy unemployment. You need help. Amber was hyperventilating, pacing, swearing under her breath. What did you do? She snarled at me. I smiled. A slow, calm smile. Oh, just gave your fans a private screening, I said. Seemed like a shame to keep such performance art hidden from the world. She charged at me, but I stood up, my voice low. You lied to me. You humiliated me. And now? Now, Amber, we're just getting started. She stared at me like she didn't even recognize who I was. Good. Because the man she married? He died the second she said, he has such a huge Johnson. Next part. The discovery only gets darker. After the explosion that morning, Amber didn't speak to me for hours. She locked herself in the bathroom, sobbing into the echo of her own filth, probably trying to find someone to blame other than herself. I stayed calm. I made eggs. I drank my coffee slowly. She came out eventually, red-eyed and shaking, but not from guilt. From fear. I could see it, the unraveling. Her pride collapsing under the weight of a secret no longer protected. But here's the thing. That whisper I overheard? It wasn't the beginning. I should have seen it coming. Scratch that. I did see it coming. I just didn't want to admit it. Because when you love someone, truly love them, you make excuses for the darkness. The signs were there, like warning lights I chose to ignore. First, it was the late nights. She claimed it was work, marketing meetings, team dinners. She even started dressing differently, tighter clothes, new heels, lingerie tags I never saw again. Then came the phone obsession. She kept it face down, locked it with Face ID. Once, I reached to hand it to her while it rang, and she nearly broke her own neck lunging across the couch to grab it. Just work stuff, she'd snapped. But the worst part? The look in her eyes. She used to look at me like I was her safe place. Her anchor. That vanished months ago, replaced by distant stares, forced laughs, and mechanical kisses. She stopped touching me unless someone else was watching. I remember one night vividly. We were supposed to have dinner at her favorite Italian place. I came home early to surprise her, again, and found her in the bathroom, humming softly. I stood outside the door, not making a sound. She was talking to someone. No, baby, he's clueless. I told you, I only stay for the house. The trips. The image. I backed away from the door like it was on fire. She came out 10 minutes later, smiling, acting like everything was normal. I stared at her, trying to find the woman I married. But all I saw was a mask. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I started digging. I checked her location history, disabled. I logged into our shared laptop. Nothing but Pinterest boards and online shopping. But then I remembered the smartwatch I gave her for her birthday. She never used it. Said it made her wrist itchy. But it was still synced to her phone. One night while she was showering, I grabbed it. Her heart rate history spiked off the charts every Wednesday between 7 and 8 p.m. She was supposed to be at yoga. I knew where the studio was. So the next Wednesday, I drove there, parked across the street, and waited. She never showed. But at exactly 7:15 p.m., I watched her silver Lexus roll past me and head straight toward the Green Fern Motel. One of those places where the rooms are $30, the walls are paper thin, and the sheets probably haven't been washed since 1999. I followed at a distance. Parked. Watched her get out in a red trench coat and heels that screamed, "I'm not here for yoga." She checked into room 106. Alone. 30 minutes later, a black truck pulled up. Out stepped him. I didn't know his name then. Just saw the tattoos, the cocky stride, the smirk that said he'd done this 100 times. He walked in like he owned her. I sat in my car gripping the steering wheel, blood roaring in my ears. Every fiber in my body told me to storm in, knock the door off its hinges, and paint the walls with his smirk. But I waited. I wanted more than a confrontation. I wanted confirmation. Proof. I waited until the next day. She came home that night smelling like someone else's cologne and claiming yoga was amazing. The next morning, I hacked into her cloud. Found the video. Found the truth. And that whisper to her sister? That was just the final nail in the coffin. It confirmed what I already knew. She wasn't just cheating. She was enjoying it. She was bragging about it. She thought she was untouchable. She was wrong. And I wasn't even close to done. 3 days after I sent the video to Amber's coworkers, she still hadn't left the house. Her world had collapsed, and I was the one who detonated the charges. But make no mistake, she lit the fuse the day she opened her legs for another man and called it personal use. She tried playing the silent treatment card. It was almost funny. She walked around like a ghost. No makeup, hair a mess, living in hoodies she used to wear only on hangover Sundays. But I knew it wasn't shame. Amber wasn't built for shame. She was terrified of exposure, not remorse. So I gave her time. And when the moment was right, I cornered her. It was around 9 p.m. on a Thursday. She was curled on the couch with her laptop open, probably Googling how to delete your digital footprint or how to fake your own death. I walked in, holding the video file on a flash drive, and tossed it onto the table in front of her. She jumped. "What's that?" she asked, eyes darting from the USB to me like a scared animal. "You know what it is," I said. Jason, listen, I can expel." "No." I cut her off, sitting across from her, calm as a priest at confession. "Don't insult me like that. No more lies, Amber. I want the truth. The whole thing. Who he is. How long. And how many other Johnsons you've been sampling while wearing my ring." She blinked fast. Her bottom lip trembled. Then her voice turned venomous. "So this is it, huh? You think you're some avenging hero now? You violated my privacy." I laughed. I actually laughed. "You cheated on me. Lied to my face. Mocked me behind my back. And now you're the victim?" She stood up and threw the USB at the wall. It bounced and clattered to the floor. I needed to feel alive, she screamed, fists clenched. You don't get it. You stopped looking at me like I was worth something. I wanted to feel wanted again, Jason. I stared at her. That's rich, Amber. So your solution to our problems was to go play adult films with Jim Rat McThunderdong in a motel? I would have fought for you. Talked to you. Hell, I would have gone to therapy. But you didn't even try. You just decided I was disposable. Her face twisted into something ugly. She wasn't crying anymore. You were boring, Jason. Predictable. Same breakfast, same schedule, same weak attempts at romance. I needed more. And Caleb gave me that. Caleb. I repeated. So he has a name. She instantly realized her mistake. But it was too late. You said he promised no one would see the video, I continued. Well, I guess you were wrong. Because now your entire office knows what kind of woman you are. Congratulations. She lunged at me, slapped me hard across the face. It stung, but I didn't move. Go ahead, I whispered. Hit me all you want. Doesn't change who you are. Amber sank back onto the couch, breathing heavy. And for the first time since this whole thing began, she looked empty, like a puppet whose strings had been severed. I want a divorce, I said. Her eyes widened. Wait, what? I'm done, Amber. You crossed a line that doesn't get walked back. And now I'm walking away. No, Jason, please. She grabbed my hand, tears now falling for real. Please, let's talk. I can fix this. We can fix this. I'll delete the video. I'll block Caleb. I'll do anything. Just don't leave me. You should have thought of that before you spread your legs and pressed record, I said coldly. She cried harder, but I didn't flinch. That night, I slept in the guest room, locked the door, headphones in, and for the first time in weeks, I didn't dream of her. I slept like a man who knew exactly what needed to happen next. Because exposing her wasn't enough. The real revenge? That was still on its way. I didn't pack much. Just what I needed: a hoodie, my Glock, licensed and registered, a GoPro, a small black duffel bag, and my nerves of steel. The rest I left behind. The photos, the wedding ring, the home that was once a symbol of something sacred, now just drywall soaked with betrayal. Amber thought I was bluffing when I said it was over. She begged for another chance, fell to her knees, said she'd go to therapy, said she'd make it up to me in any way I wanted. She even tried to crawl into my bed one night, whispering desperate apologies and promises she could never keep. I didn't say a word. I just turned and walked into the bathroom, locked the door, and smiled, because I knew something she didn't. Caleb, her tatted-up gym monkey, was still checking into room 106 at the Green Fern every Wednesday. I knew because I had eyes. The motel clerk owed me a favor. Said Caleb never looked anyone in the eye, always paid in cash, and once brought a Bluetooth speaker blasting 90s R&B into the room like he was shooting a music video. So, I made a plan. Wednesday came. I checked into room 104 under a fake name, Paul Matthews. Wore a cap, sunglasses, kept my face low. I paid extra to the clerk to ensure Caleb still got his usual room, and slipped him an envelope to keep his mouth shut. Inside my bag was a single surprise, a bottle of perfume. Amber's perfume. Her signature scent, something sweet, citrusy, and sharp, like her personality before it curdled. I sprayed it across the motel bed. Left her red lingerie, the one I bought her for our anniversary, laid out like bait. Then I scattered petals. Red roses. Just like the ones Caleb posted on his private Instagram, where he called her my fire queen. How poetic. I rigged the GoPro in the vent. Synced it to my phone. Hit record. Then I left. But I didn't go far. I sat in my car, parked across the street, engine off, heart pounding. 7:14 p.m., his truck arrived. I watched as Caleb strolled across the lot like he owned the damn place. Black tank top, joggers, a stupid gold chain bouncing on his chest. He walked into room 106, expecting her. What he found instead was a neatly written note. Don't worry. She's on her way. But before she gets here, I want you to feel what I felt. Confusion, excitement, betrayal. Welcome to my nightmare, Caleb. Yours starts now. I wish I could have seen his face. He stayed in that room for 30 minutes. Pacing. Calling someone. Probably her. She didn't answer. Then came the knock. He opened the door. And there she was. Amber. Hair curled. Eyes painted. Heels clicking. Dressed like sin in a satin robe and fake innocence. He pulled her inside and slammed the door. I checked the GoPro stream. They were arguing. Caleb was pissed. Amber was confused. Then she saw the note. She went pale. Next came the yelling, the blaming. Caleb shoved the perfume bottle across the room. Amber screamed that I had set them up. He shouted that he didn't sign up for this crazy mess. That she was poison. That she'd ruined his life. She slapped him. He shoved her back. Then, silence. They sat on the edge of the bed, both staring at the floor like two kids caught stealing. And that's when I sent them the next gift. From a burner number. A link to a private video. You both starred in this. I just directed it. Oh, and by the way, your little show just hit 100K views. Smile for the fans. Amber's scream echoed even through my phone speaker. She threw the phone at the wall. Caleb grabbed his jacket and stormed out. I watched him drive off without a glance back. She stumbled out after him 5 minutes later, tears streaming down her face, looking like a ghost in high heels. I didn't follow them. I just sat in my car, watching the motel door close, and whispered, "Checkmate." I wasn't done yet, but I'd just taken their favorite place and turned it into the stage for their public humiliation. Let's see how they liked being exposed now. 2 days passed. No calls. No texts. Just silence. Then, early Saturday morning, around 6:40 a.m., I heard the front door rattle. A few seconds later, heavy knocking followed. She didn't use her key, probably too ashamed, or maybe she hoped the drama of knocking would buy her some sympathy. I didn't move. She knocked harder. "Jason, please, let me in." I opened the door slowly, just enough to see her face through the crack. Amber looked like a mess. Her makeup was smeared from crying, and her blonde curls were limp and greasy. She was still wearing the same robe from the motel. No shoes, just bare feet on cold pavement. She clutched her phone in one hand and a crumpled tissue in the other. "Please," she whispered. "I don't know where else to go." "Try Caleb's place," I said coldly. Her lip trembled. "He blocked me." "Everyone has. Jason, they all saw it." I opened the door fully now, letting her step inside. She moved like a zombie. Her eyes darted around the living room like she was expecting something to jump out and bite her. "Where's my mom?" she asked. "Blocked me too," I said. "After she saw your video." Amber collapsed on the couch. Not dramatically, not like in movies. Just dropped. As if her body couldn't hold itself upright anymore. "I know I messed up," she said. "But you didn't have to humiliate me like that." I tilted my head. "You're really gonna sit here and play the victim?" She looked up, eyes wide and glossy. "Jason, I loved you. I didn't feel seen anymore. I didn't feel alive. He made me feel. Spare me." I cut her off. "You felt enough to make a video, Amber. You felt enough to whisper to your sister about his huge Johnson while laughing at the man who gave you a life worth living." Her mouth shut. She knew I had her. "But I didn't mean to hurt you," she whispered. "Oh." I stepped closer. "You accidentally let him record you? Accidentally wore the lingerie I bought you while calling another man daddy? Accidentally said I was boring and predictable behind my back." Her shoulders sank. I crouched down, looked her dead in the eyes. "You meant every word. You enjoyed it. What you didn't expect was to get caught." She didn't respond. I stood up and walked toward the kitchen, grabbed a glass of water. The silence stretched between us like a noose. "I've lost everything," she finally said. "My job, my reputation. My sister won't talk to me. Caleb ghosted me. And you," she paused, voice cracking. "You're the only person I have left." I let out a bitter laugh. "You had me. You threw me away." She stood up suddenly, rushed to me, and grabbed my hand. "Let me make it up to you," she pleaded. "We can start over. Go to counseling. Delete everything. I'll do anything." I yanked my hand away. "You don't get to bargain your way out of this. You burn the house down, Amber. There's nothing left to rebuild." Tears welled up again. "I'm sorry," she choked out. "I was stupid. I was selfish. I didn't think it would go this far." I leaned in. "No, you didn't think. You thought I was weak. You thought I'd never find out. But I did. And now, you get to live with the fallout." She collapsed into a sob on the floor, knees pressed against her chest. But I felt nothing. No rage. No grief. Just clarity. I walked past her and grabbed an envelope off the table. "Here," I said, tossing it at her feet. "Divorce papers. Pre-signed. You'll find a generous split inside. I'm not interested in revenge anymore." She stared at it like it was radioactive. "You're really ending it?" she whispered. "It ended the moment you pressed record." I walked upstairs without looking back. Her cries echoed up the staircase. but I didn't turn around. She begged. She wept. She said she'd change. But some damage doesn't get undone. And the man she betrayed? He wasn't interested in being her last resort. I wish I could say that handing her the divorce papers ended it. That Amber quietly faded out of my life like smoke after a fire. But people like her, the ones who thrive on manipulation, attention, and control, don't just walk away. They claw back. They pretend they've changed. But all they do is evolve their tactics. A week after I gave her the papers, she moved in with a friend, some woman named Madison who used to work with her at the same firm before the scandal broke out. I thought that would be it. I figured she'd lay low, sign the documents, and disappear. But no. 2 days later, I started getting messages from mutual friends. Hey man, Amber says you doctored the video. Wait, didn't you cheat first? She told us she found photos on your laptop. Bro, I'm hearing some wild stuff. Did you really set her up? I was stunned. Not because she was lying. I expected that. But because she had the audacity to keep pushing this narrative after everything. So I dug. And sure enough, Amber had been telling people that the motel incident was a setup. That I edited the video to make her look bad. That I'd been abusive, emotionally distant, and had a secret online fling with some girl from Texas. She even said I leaked the video out of spite because I got caught first. All lies. Classic gaslighting. But I wasn't surprised. I'd seen this side of her before, in smaller doses. The way she twisted stories to win arguments, the way she cried when cornered, how she played the victim when she didn't get her way. This was just Amber on full display. She didn't care about truth. She cared about control. And that's when I knew. She wasn't trying to win me back. She was trying to ruin me. So, I decided to go one step further. There was one thing she never thought I had. Her secret email. Months before, during our last happy vacation in Miami, she logged into her Gmail from my laptop. She never logged out. I never said a word. Just watched. Now, I finally opened it. And what I found was nuclear. Hundreds of messages between her and Caleb. Yes, him again, plus a few other names I didn't recognize. But one thread stood out. A series of messages between her and a man named Jaden S. The first one started months before Caleb. Don't worry. He'll never find out. I just want to feel like a woman again. She sent him photos. Intimate ones. Desperate ones. There was even one email where she said, Jason's so boring in bed. I fake it every time. You make me feel alive. I wanted to puke. Amber wasn't just unfaithful. She was a serial betrayer. So I did what any rational, heartbroken, and emotionally scorched man would do. I compiled a PDF, all the emails, all the photos, every thread of her digital infidelity. Then I sent it to her parents, her new boss, her entire friend circle, including Madison. I didn't even write a message. Just sent the file and let it speak for itself. The fallout was immediate. Her mom texted me. I'm so sorry, Jason. I didn't know it was this bad. Madison blocked her. Her new job? Gone. Again. Amber called me 30 times that night. I didn't pick up. She sent voicemails, sobbing, begging, threatening to hurt herself, then begging again. It was a loop. A cycle of chaos and regret. But I was out of it. I was done. You can only get lied to so many times before you stop hearing words at all. It becomes background noise. Static. And that's what Amber was to me now. Noise. Ugly, desperate, and meaningless. I wasn't seeking revenge anymore. I was cleaning house. And Amber? She was nothing but old rot I'd finally thrown in the trash. I just hadn't taken it to the curb yet. But soon. It was a Monday morning. Gray skies. The kind of wind that makes doors creak and trees sway like they're whispering secrets. I'd barely slept. Not because of stress, not anymore. But because I knew today would be the last time I ever saw her. Amber. The papers had been sitting on the dining table for over a week. Still unsigned. Still untouched. Like she was holding on to hope that I'd fold. That maybe I'd wake up, forget the betrayal, forget the videos, forget the circus of lies she'd spun around me like a spider web. But I wasn't the same man anymore. Amber messaged me at 5:13 a.m. I'll come by at 10. Let's talk. Please. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Let her come. Let her see how little of me was left. At exactly 10:01, she knocked. She wore jeans, a beige sweater, simple, clean, no makeup. The fake softness of someone trying to look innocent. She clutched a brown envelope. I opened the door and stepped aside without a word. She walked in like a stranger. Hesitant, small, scanning the room like it might be booby-trapped. Her eyes darted to the divorce papers still laid out on the table. "I brought the signed copy," she said quietly, placing the envelope beside them. "Finally," I muttered, not looking at her. "Jason, I've had time to think," she started, but I held up my hand. "Don't. Just don't." She bit her lip. "You don't want to hear me out? I heard enough the day you moaned another man's name in a motel bed wearing the same lingerie I bought you for our 3rd anniversary. I snapped. She flinched like I slapped her. "Good." I pointed to the envelope. "That's the only thing I needed from you." She sat down anyway, uninvited, bold like always. "You don't understand how lost I was," she began, voice trembling. I felt invisible, like I didn't matter anymore. "I know I made awful decisions, but I wasn't trying to hurt you." "Stop," I said. "You did hurt me. And not just once. Not just with Caleb. Not just with Jaden. But over and over again. You hurt me every time you smiled in my face and texted another man. Every time you kissed me goodnight with someone else still on your breath." Tears slid down her face. "I hate who I became." "Then why did you keep becoming her?" I asked. "Every time you had a choice, you chose the worst version of yourself." She looked at me with those wide, fake hurt eyes. The ones she used to weaponize. But I wasn't falling for it anymore. "I still love you," she whispered. I laughed bitterly. "You don't even know what love is." She reached out and touched my hand. I didn't pull away. Not right away. Because some part of me needed this. Closure. The final page. "You lost something good, Amber," I said. "And you won't find it again in a motel room or a stranger's arms." "I know." "No," I said. "You say you know, but you don't feel it. Not yet. But one day you will. You'll wake up next to someone who makes your skin crawl, and you'll remember how safe you felt with me. You'll hear a song, or smell fresh coffee, or sit alone on a couch where I used to hold you, and it'll hit you like a truck, that you had everything, and you set it on fire." She sobbed now, hands over her mouth. I stood up, walked to the door, opened it. "Goodbye, Amber." She stood, trembling. "Can I hug you?" she asked. I looked her dead in the eye. "No." She nodded, picked up her purse, walked out into the gray wind without another word. I closed the door behind her, and for the first time since this nightmare began, I breathed, really breathed. The kind of breath you take after clawing your way out of a grave someone else tried to bury you in. This wasn't just the end of my marriage. It was the beginning of me. The days that followed were quiet. Not silent, quiet. The kind of peace that feels earned. The kind that settles deep in your bones after months of chaos. Like the silence after a storm that leaves everything shattered, but clean. Amber was gone. Truly gone this time. The divorce was finalized within a week. Her name disappeared from the mortgage, the insurance, the car title. I deleted our shared playlists, burned old birthday cards, and boxed up the wedding photos without ceremony. There was no dramatic bonfire in the backyard. No slashing of tires or keying of cars. That's not who I am. That's who she was. Impulsive, messy, destructive. I chose the slower, more brutal path. I forgot her. Piece by piece. I scrubbed her from my mind like a stain that never quite set in. And over time, I began to realize just how long I had been shrinking inside that marriage. How long I had bent over backward trying to make her feel seen, wanted, special, while she was busy throwing herself at strangers for validation. The truth is, I should have walked away a long time ago. There were signs. Red flags. Entire crimson banners waving in the wind. But I was too loyal, too hopeful, too blind. She gaslit me into believing her mood swings were my fault. She used affection as a weapon, giving it when she wanted something, withholding it when I asked for respect. She played the "you're just insecure" card every time I questioned her constant texting, the way she suddenly kept her phone face down, or her girls' nights that ended at 2 a.m. Looking back, I was a man waiting for permission to be valued. And that's the most dangerous place a man can live, stuck between what he gives and what he's told he deserves. Now I wake up without walking on eggshells. Now I make coffee without wondering if I'll be criticized for using the wrong mug. Now I speak without editing myself for fear of her reactions. And the best part? I'm not afraid to be alone anymore. Because solitude isn't scary when you've lived with someone who made you feel lonely every day. Amber didn't just betray me with her body. She betrayed the safety I built around her. She shattered the trust one gave her freely. She mocked the love I wrapped her in. And for what? A few sweaty nights in a motel and some meaningless compliments from guys who'd forget her name by the weekend? She threw away a kingdom for a carnival ride. Let her live with that. Let her explain to every future man why her name shows up when someone Googles motel scandal, or why her own mother won't answer her calls. As for me, I rebuilt. I started therapy, not to heal from the trauma, but to understand why I let it last so long. I started journaling again, wrote down every lie she told me, every moment I ignored my gut, every time I swallowed pain just to keep peace. Then I tore out the pages and threw them away. Not out of rage, out of release. And now, when friends ask me how I'm doing, I don't fake a smile. I say, I feel free. Because I am. So if you're reading this, and you're in that place I was, wondering if you're overreacting, if you're being paranoid, if maybe you are the problem, let me be clear. If your gut tells you something's wrong, it is. If your partner makes you feel small, they're not your partner. If someone betrays you, and then tries to blame you, leave. Don't wait for proof. Don't wait for them to hit rock bottom. Don't wait for a video. Walk away before they burn you alive. And if they do, stand tall in the ashes, smile at the sky, and whisper, "You didn't destroy me. You just set me free." Jason.